Hello and welcome to the Fat Boss Guide to Tsulong, 25-man normal in the Terrace of the Endless Springs.
Hello.
Yes, I really do like this fight. Like, it's got like a duality to it. There's two different phases. It goes between the phases and it's like a completely different boss per phase. It's very cool. I like it a lot.
For this encounter, you want to bring 2 tanks, 5 to 6 healers and a mixed DPS makeup. And like Alex said, it is 2 phases. There's a day phase and a night phase. And the idea is that he'll switch between the phases once his energy is full. And when he does transition from night to day, his energy will reset and vice versa.
Now in the night phase, the boss is attackable, and this is the phase where you just want to be nuking the shit out of him. However, he is doing damage to you, and you've got to try and avoid these mechanics, and we're going to go through them right now.
Now, in the night phase, your raid will be taking constant AoE ticking damage, and you have a debuff on you that increases the amount of damage that you are taking from this AoE, and it does stack. And it's very important that you drop the stack. Now, the only way of dropping this stack is going inside a sunbeam that spawns.
Now, the sunbeam will slowly become smaller and smaller the more people that go in it, and the longer that you spend in the sunbeam. However, the sunbeam is actually a bit shit. It's a bit unresponsive when you go in, so even though you want to spend the least amount of time in there as possible so you can get the most amount of stack drops in there, you just got to make sure that you do spend enough time in there for your stack to actually drop, because yeah, the sunbeam is a bit shit. But just do as much as you can. The sunbeam does respawn periodically throughout the night phase as well, so another one will come back up, but ideally you don't want to quickly get rid of all of it when some people haven't even dropped their stacks yet. So just make sure you go in, drop your stack and come straight back out again.
Another reason why you don't want to stand in there all day is because of an ability called Nightmares. Now, this will target 3 random players and create a circle underneath them, and if you're still in the circle after a few seconds, anyone inside the circle will take quite a lot of damage and will be feared for 3 seconds. So if you're stood in the beam for no reason, your stack's already cleared, and you get targeted for this is going to prevent anyone from going in the beam. But however, if it does spawn on you when you're not in the beam, or if it spawns on someone who's near you, just move out of it. It's relatively simple. Just don't get hit by the circle.
Now, the boss does have a breath. It's a shadow breath that does a high amount of damage in front of him, just like every dragon really does in the game. And this also gives you a debuff that increases the amount of shadow damage you take by 100% for 30 seconds. So what you want to do, this is why you really want 2 tanks, is so you can taunt off each other every time you take a breath. However, you may every now and then have to take a breath while you already have the debuff from a previous breath, just because timers have fucked you over or whatever. Just make sure you use a big cooldown for that and let your healers know that you are going to be taking that extra long breath.
Now, as a tank, you will also get the AoE ticking damage debuff thingy on you that you need to drop by going in the sunbeams. And if you're tanking and you need to go drop it, it's not really ideal, because you don't want to be moving the boss when potentially a breath could, hit the raid or anything like that. And while you're in a beam, pretty much no one else can go inside it. So you really want to be trying to drop your stacks when you're not tanking. So when the one tank is tanking, the other tank should go drop his stacks. And yeah, when you switch over, the other tank should then go drop his stacks. However, if you desperately need to go drop your stacks as a tank and a breath is due in, then you need to communicate with your raid and just say, look, there's a breath coming in, everyone get out my fucking way, I'm going in the beam, and yeah, everything should be fine. And that's more or less it for the night phase. You just need to make sure that you drop your stacks using the beams and don't stand in the beams all day. And you want to make sure that you're moving from the little circles and that your tanks can deal with a breath.
That's pretty much it, yeah. So when the boss does eventually reach 100% energy, he will then go into the day phase. And basically, as he goes into the day phase, he will now become friendly and you can heal him. And that's the whole idea of this phase.
Every time the boss switches from one phase to another, his health bar will invert. So, for example, if you just went from 70% life in the night phase, in the day phase he'll now have 30% health. And if you leave the day phase with him on 40% health, when you go into the night phase he'll then be on 60% health. And you basically defeat the encounter by either getting the boss to 0% in the night phase or 100% in the day phase. However, in the day phase, if he does go to 0%, then it is a wipe. The boss will just despawn.
Now, in the day phase, you don't just get to have a little sit around and just heal him up while nothing happens. A bunch of fucking ads spawn, which is lovely. But however, there's a way to deal with the ads, and it's mainly to do with the boss's sun breath.
Now, the boss's sun breath will deal a huge amount of damage to any ads that are in front of him. However, it will also buff players, giving you 500% extra healing for 6 seconds. And it will also give you 25% maximum mana back. It also applies to everyone else, like you will get, like if you're a rogue, you'll get energy back, or if you're any class, you'll get your primary resource back. So it's really good that you do stand in front of it, but mainly it's for your healers. You get a massive healing increase, and it's just excellent for healing the boss.
Also, if you're a hybrid character like an elemental chamois or something like that, and you don't have any ads to kill at this point, you may want to just throw down a healing rain, or you might want to put a regrowth on the boss if you're a druid or something like that. Just to, it's all good. It just makes it so that the boss gets healed up more.
Now, as Alex mentioned, there are ads that you have to deal with this phase, and first we're going to talk about an embodied terror. Now, these are like the bigger ads, and they will not really do too much. You need to pick them up as a tank, and they'll cast something called Terrorize. Now, this will affect random players and the boss, and it applies just a ridiculously bad dot that removes percent health every few seconds. You need to make sure that you dispel it as quick as you possibly can. However, it's more important to dispel it on the boss than it is on players, because, you know, it hurts so fucking much.
Also, you want to be tanking this embodied terror in the beam, so of course he'll be stunned as much as possible. Also, you can stun this ad, so what you can do is if a terrorize is about to come and he's nearly dead, you could just try and stun lock him or just have a stun rotation. However, DR does kick in, so eventually stuns won't even work and they'll get less and less and less. So that's something you might want to try out, just to stun him as much as possible. Now, when an embodied terror does die, 5 little ads spawn out of it called fright spawns. Now, these ads do practically fuck all, except for do something called fright, which fears and deals damage, and it's just, fear is so annoying.
It's just a pain in the ass.
You can dispel it, but you just don't really want any of these to come out. So what you want to do, you want to make sure that they're all in front of the boss so they can be breathed on. And a really clever thing that you can do is make sure that you kill the embodied terror just before a breath is about to come in. So as soon as all the little fright spawns spawn, they'll just be breathed on straight away, and it'll be like, oh, you're not fearing anymore, which is just amazing. Yeah, fear is so fucking annoying.
The breath just completely destroys them.
Yeah, so. Exactly. They might need a little bit of extra AoE, but that's it.
Now, apart from the embodied terrors and the ads that spawn out of them, there is also an ad called an unstable Shah. Now, these ads will spawn on the outsides of the room, and they'll start moving towards the boss, and you need to prevent them from reaching him. If they reach the boss, they do an incredible amount of damage and will just despawn, so you need to make sure they don't reach the boss, because it's just far too much to outheal. While they are moving, they do cast something called Unstable Bolt, which will do damage to random players. However, when they do cast it, will also do damage to them. Now, these ads can be CC'd. You can use stuns, you can use death grips, you can use hunter traps, you can use slowing shrooms. You know, there's a whole... You can use your whole arsenal of CC on them, and they don't have that much health. You just need to make sure that you assign certain DPS to go to certain ones.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, you want to be prioritizing the ones that won't be in front of the boss, because of course the ones in front of the boss, there is a chance that they're going to be breathed on by the sun breath. So you can think maybe not sending too many DPS to them ones, but of course all of them do need to die, because any damage on the boss is bad damage. Now, to sum up the day phase, basically all you need to do is you need to just control these ads. You've got to make sure the terrors are tanked in front of the boss, and then you dispel everyone and the boss, mainly the boss, dispel the boss all the time. And then when they die, all the little fright spawns will spawn. You just make sure that they are hit by the sun breath, and you AoE them down very, very quickly. Of course, as well as dealing with the unstable shard around the side of the room. Kill them before they reach the boss, and just heal the shit out of the boss. Especially with this sun breath, it's so amazing. You may even want to like start pre-casting, so your heal will hit by the time you get that the buff from the boss from the sun breath. It's just amazing what you can get from this buff. So the day phase will last until the boss hits 100 energy, then it'll go back to night. And going into night, the ads do remain as well, so make sure you quickly finish them off and then go back on the boss. And then after he gets 100 energy again, he'll go back to day, and then he'll go from day to night, day to night, day to night, until he either hits in rage or you manage to heal or kill him up to 100% or 0%. So that's pretty much it, really. It's a very simple fight, very nice fight as well. I like the duality of it all, and yeah, it's good.
So thanks for watching, guys. If this video did help you out, then please do drop us a like. It helps us out a lot. And please make sure you comment, rate, and subscribe.
And if you'd like to see any of our other 25-man normal guides here by FatBoss, then please do click up on the screen now, and that'll take you over to those videos straight away.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.